The whole idea of the exhibit is really showing how one can connect to the natural world through art. Now, this is visual art, but I mean art of all different types, writing, music, songwriting, many crafts. This is my medium, is painting and drawing. So I'm sharing that with the public, but what I would really like them to feel is how the natural world can be experienced in different ways. I love science. I'm always one to look up a name of something and the life cycle about it, but I also like personal interpretation. What was I thinking when I saw that turtle? What was I thinking about the age of turtles? And how can I get that into the painting and my own transience compared to this long-lived turtle? Many different ideas can go into an artwork that couldn't go into a book on natural history pure. So I try to combine those things. And the idea of this exhibit is really that bridge between the natural world to art and then going back to the natural world. So someone seeing the exhibit might say, oh, look at this, and then go for a walk at Steel Creek and say, there it is, right there in the pond. I see it now. Or they might see a cocoon in a sketch and go out and see it in the field. Because that's how we learn. We learn through science about nature, but we can also learn through art. And one of the unusual aspects of this show is I'll be showing a lot of my sketchbooks. And here's just a random page of a box turtle I painted. I also do a lot of pen and ink drawings. There's a beetle. And if I'm going to paint it, I sometimes will write what the colors were and then do a color code on the page. And that helps me have the experience directly outside and then go back to the studio and create a different kind of work of art. And not just observation, which is wonderful, and I love that, but also what happens when we bring nature inside, how that transforms. And that's what I'm interested in, and that's what I hope to share with the people who visit this exhibit. The way I chose the exhibit was to select a new series of work about turtles called Coming Up for Air. But I love the way the box turtle paintings connected to the actual box turtles in the room. And I said, oh, keep those, because those are the subject matters that makes it, to use your word, inspire me to go draw them or paint them. And then I have a selection of bee assemblages. And by assemblages, I mean they're combined painting and found objects, and some sketches, ephemera. And those will be in one case. And I love the way that those bees, my artwork connects to the bees right outside the door, that you can lift up the flap and see an actual bee colony right there, the live ones. And I'll have drawings next to the bees, the bee assemblages of my bee studies, because frankly, I had to get familiar with bees, so to put them in different positions and everything, and that's part of the bonus of being an artist and studying the natural world. You can look at something for a long time. And the other work will be primarily paintings from different ages that touch on subjects like insect collections and sketchbooks. There's direct relationships between a sketchbook drawing and a painting, and perhaps people will get the idea, oh, I see how she's changed it, or I see what the difference is between an observation, which is in the sketchbook, and turning that into a finished piece of art, a conceptual, idea-oriented piece of art. I consider every one of my paintings as not a slice of life, like you're going to go out and see this. It's all about human perception. I think that humans have this incredible potential to appreciate the natural world. This is our gift, and this is what I want people to use. Their gift to appreciate things, to look at them, to understand them, to follow through with that understanding, do a little research, go on a hike with an expert. That to me is what I would like to encourage people to do, to explore that great human potential. You know, I have to say that when I first started sketch, this is number 44, I think I'm on 56 now. And when I first started, I never wanted to show them because I didn't want to think of the idea of somebody looking at them influencing what I did in the sketchbook. But now I don't care. At first, I mean, I go ahead and I am who I am in my sketchbooks. In fact, when I look at my career over 30, 40 years, the greatest consistency is through the sketchbooks. And I see them, and I can see how they've evolved. I have more color in them, for one thing. Now I think of this as the perfect place to show sketchbooks. We have kindred spirits coming in here, and they'll appreciate that, and I love that. I think the question really is, how do I find time to do all this? I mean, any sketch takes time to sit and well, like this one of the garden spider. I might not have actually had time to do that, but I make time. 15 minutes, sketch, start it, and ink it later, something like that. That is the biggest challenge. Finding that period of time to do something that's going to end up in a sketchbook. And I love that, actually. But in other words, it's not to sell at a gallery or anything. It's just pure curiosity, pure fulfillment of curiosity. And I feel like I'm a wealthy person because of that, because I have that kind of curiosity and time to pursue it. I'm a kind of, how would I say, a reluctant traveler. I really like to stay put in a place and explore, go out and have it could be the simplest cabin, as long as it had some lighting at night, because that's when I'll do a lot of the drawing and painting. But I like to stay put and go out and explore. So that's my favorite kind of traveling. Go somewhere and stay there and really absorb it. I went to the Pacific Northwest on an artist residency for 2 months. And it was phenomenal because rather than traveling around and seeing the sights and rushing back home, I could stay somewhere and absorb it, sketch, go to look up information before Google. I went to field guides all the time and asked locals. I love that. I love to interact with local people who know a lot about the natural world and incorporate that into my work. But the Notes on the State of Virginia, which was a big travel-oriented show, I did go all through Virginia, north and to the Shenandoah Valley, all the way to the Eastern Shore and down to Dismal Swamp and across the Piedmont, and it was phenomenal. And I usually found places that I could stay for a few days and maybe even more time, and absorb the place and react to it and respond to it. And you never know about encounters with animals. You never know when it's going to be. And that's the beauty of it. You can't really predict when you're going to see that fox running through the woods or see the turtle basking. So frequent trips to the same place are important to me. The exhibit will run through the beginning of October all the way through the end of December. During Wildlife Weekend, after I give a talk, I'll come in the gallery and answer questions about the exhibit, maybe comment on a few pieces. So that's a good time to come in to see the exhibit. I'll be here. on that Saturday, I will be talking about keeping a sketchbook and a journal. When I talk about journaling, I mean also writing in the sketchbook. And I see this is about seeing a Cooper's hawk in our backyard, and part of what I wanted to say had to be in words. And I think I've always been interested in translating my experience in the natural world in words. And when I wrote The Middle of Somewhere, An Artist Explores the Nature of Virginia, that was my opportunity to really hunker down and say, okay, I'm writing this for other people. I'm not writing this in my journal. But to make that book, what did I do? I looked at all my journal notes. And I would like to encourage people to have that interaction between making a sketch and writing words, or writing their thoughts, combining science with a little story. What were they doing? Combine their own experience. Don't necessarily find a balance between science and their own experience is really what I would like them to do.